His name was Victor Kane. By day, Victor was charming, magnetic, the kind of man who could sell a raincoat in the desert. He was the face of Loon Tech Solutions, a rising tech company promising innovation.
Transparency is the future,
He'd say with a dazzling smile at press conferences. His words were sharp and polished, slicing through doubt like a blade. But by night, Victor was different. He didn't just hide secrets. He lived in them. They weren't burdens to him. They were tools, levers he pulled to move people like chess pieces. Take his assistant, Naomi, for example. Fresh out of college, eager to impress, she worked late every night, fueled by Victor's promises.
You're indispensable to me.
Leaning in just enough to make her heart race.
Stick with me, and you'll go far.
What Naomi didn't know was that Victor never intended for her to rise. Every time she came close to a breakthrough, he'd subtly shift the goalposts. Her ideas were passed off as his. Her work buried under his name. He wasn't mentoring her, he was using her. And when she started asking questions, Victor knew just how to douse her suspicions. A promotion that came with a fancier title, but no real power. Then there was Mark, Victor's oldest friend. They had built Loon Tech together, or so Mark believed. Victor always made Mark feel like they were partners, brothers. But behind closed doors, Victor had long since maneuvered Mark out of any real authority. He leaked just enough doubt to the board to undermine him.
Mark's vision is outdated,
shaking his head in feigned concern. The contract that would have secured Mark's future? Victor signed it himself, cutting Mark out entirely. Victor's greatest deception, though, wasn't in the office or with his friends. It was with his wife, Elena. She adored him, or rather, the version of him he'd carefully constructed. Flowers every Friday, candlelit dinners, the perfect husband. But beneath the surface, Victor was a stranger. The business trips were lies. The late-night meetings were excuses. He kept secrets like trophies, each one a testament to his control. One night, Elena found herself awake while Victor slept beside her, his phone buzzing softly on the nightstand. She reached for it, her fingers trembling. What she found wasn't a single betrayal, but a mosaic of them. Emails to partners she'd never heard of. Photos from trips he hadn't mentioned. Text messages that turned her stomach.
Can't wait to see you again.
Her chest tightened as the weight of it all crashed over her. She wasn't furious. Not yet. She was heartbroken. The life she thought she had was just another one of Victor's carefully constructed illusions. Who was this man? Weeks passed. Victor noticed a change in Elena. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Her touch grew cold, but he dismissed it, confident in his illusions. That was his mistake. One evening, Elena broke the silence. They sat across from each other at the dinner table, the city lights twinkling through the penthouse windows.
Victor, how long do you think you can keep spinning these lies?
He smirked, leaning back in his chair.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But Elena didn't flinch. She slid a folder across the table. Documents, screenshots, and photographs.
What is this?
This is the truth. The one thing you can't control.
Victor laughed, but it was hollow.
You don't understand. Everything I've done for us. For you.
Elena shook her head, tears brimming but refusing to fall.
No, Victor. Everything you've done for yourself. You've built this empire on illusions, on lies, on people you've broken, and now it's all coming back to you.
Victor stared at her, the weight of her words sinking in. For the first time, he felt the shadows closing in. Weeks later, Victor stood alone in the penthouse, the furniture half empty. Elena gone. He gazed out at the city, his reflection in the window staring back at him like a stranger. The moon hung high, casting its silver light across the skyline. He thought of all the lies, all the illusions he'd spun to keep himself on top. He thought of Naomi, of Mark, of Elena. They had all seen through him in the end. Victor whispered to his reflection,
Was it worth it?
The reflection didn't answer. Where is the line between the illusions we create and the truths we bury? Shadows may stretch far, but eventually the light finds its way. The moon reminds us that we all carry secrets, whether from others or ourselves. Some truths are meant to stay hidden. What happens when they demand to be seen? If the light revealed everything you've kept in the dark, would you be ready to face it or flee?